Now, unless you or someone you know is personally involved in the foster care system, either by being a foster parent or possibly working in the system, you might not know a whole lot about the true facts of foster care. One of the shocking facts that shocks most people is that the fact that a child enters foster care every 2 minutes in the United States as of 2014. And there are many reasons why. Amy Harmon authored an article on adoption.com listing 8 main reasons, and they are abuse, neglect, illness, death, incarceration, substance abuse, child's choice, and sometimes voluntary placement. Now, all of these reasons will almost always involve some sort of trauma, whether mental, emotional, physical, or sexual. Some of the long-term effects of going through that trauma and then going into subpar foster care are early pregnancy, sex trafficking, arrest and incarceration, higher risk of homelessness, a lack of education, and a much higher risk of mental illness and a higher risk of suicide. One of the ways out of foster care is through aging out, which means turning 18 before you're either adopted or are able to go back to your biological family. Now, this population of foster care children has even higher risks of the same as the previous slide, of less education, convicted of a crime, homelessness, lack of education, and becoming a teen parent. The Children's Rights article on foster care statistics say that any given day in the United States there are around 438,000 children in foster care. In Missouri it's about 19,400, and in St. Louis City and County it's 1,600. Now, one of the reasons that these numbers are so high is because the average is about 2 years of the time spent in foster care. Some spend only a few days, and 17% spend 5 years or more in care. Now, a lot of this is because the caseworkers involved in foster care are overburdened, overworked, overwhelmed. The American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees has an article called Double Jeopardy: Caseworkers at Risk Helping At-Risk Kids. But this means they are so overworked that they are unable to effectively care for these children and get through their cases in a timely manner, and sometimes they get burned out and quit, and then there's less people going into it. And there's a high cost to the entire country, taxpayer base. The Voices for Children website says that in Missouri, $1.5 billion has been incurred due to child abuse neglect. And this is from police, courtrooms, lawyers, all of those things adding up and costing us all money. No matter the origin of any of these children, they all deserve the chance of having a bright future. They all will affect us no matter if we think they will or not. All foster care children need to be cared for and have that shot. Now, there is a national program designed to help this particular situation. It is called CASA. It stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. It is a national program with over 1,000 chapters across the country, and our local St. Louis chapter is called Voices for Children. Now, what they do is they train CASA volunteers to be this third-party representative for children in foster care. Now, one CASA paid employee can support 30 volunteers, which in turn can help 75 children. 1 year of CASA advocacy costs less than 1 month of foster care support. Now, these children who have the advantage of the CASA advocates are more likely to find a safe permanent home, less likely to re-enter the foster care system, more likely to get out within 3 years, more likely to succeed in school. Now, while 76,000 or so have helped 250,000 children, there are still 452,000 children waiting for a volunteer to be that third-party advocate for them. The main goal of CASA is to be able to help every single child in the foster care system. Now, in St. Louis, the majority, 66%, are from St. Louis City. The rest spread out around the county. 22% North County is the biggest part from the county. This shows 16,000 in St. Louis foster care children, and these percentages show how many experience physical neglect, parents with substance abuse, physical abuse, and drug-affected infants. Now, the funds raised by Voices for Children, 14% goes towards fundraising for future funds, 19% is management and general expenses, and the largest portion, 67%, goes to program services, which is the actual training of the volunteers. Now, if they are not able to get enough money, we have a bleak future ahead of us, not just for these kids, but all of us. A lot of times abuse and neglect within the foster care system goes unchecked. Unfortunately, not all carers have the best intentions for these children. And if the caseworker does not have enough time to make sure it's a safe environment, then this goes unnoticed and the child has further trauma. The average time in foster care will go up because, again, the caseworker doesn't have enough time to quickly get the child through the system, and they're also maybe not sure what the child needs. And then after that, the cost goes up for taxes and overall child care costs because there's more time spent in the system. And for society overall, we will have a higher base of uneducated, unemployed, people with ill physical or mental health, undiagnosed, people committing crimes and therefore in jail, which again will cost the taxpayer more money as prisoners are not supporting themselves. Now, if CASA is funded, every child will have the opportunity to have an objective third-party advocate looking out for them, figuring out the best programs to help both them and their biological family, as the main goal of foster care is to get that child back with their biological family, and then to adopt a family if it's not possible. If this is able to happen, time spent in foster care goes down, as the advocate will be able to work with the caseworkers to tell them, hey, I noticed this is what this child needs, this is what their family needs. And then costs go down because, again, the child will be spending less time in care using tax dollars to support them and their foster parents. The CASA Corner website has a quote that says, last year more than 76,000 CASA and guardian ad litem, which is another term used in some states for CASA, volunteers helped more than 251,000 abused and neglected children find safe permanent homes, giving them a chance to grow up to what they want to do and not what the system has given them. Becoming a CASA volunteer is definitely something that's not for everyone, but is a great opportunity. You have to be able to pass some criminal background checks for safety for the children, be able to effectively communicate orally and writing because you will be within the court system and a judge. If this is interest you, Beth Fultz is the contact for that. She is the one who gets the volunteers together. Their next trivia event is a Smarty Pants Trivia. It will be at the Kirkwood Community Center on Friday, August 24th from 6 to 10 p.m. to raise money. Now, if you weren't able to either attend this event or become a volunteer yourself, we are always taking donations. And the way to give the donations is to go to the website, www.voices-stl.org, and click on the donate link that's on the right. It costs around $1,500 per child per year for a high quality advocate. Now, they also have a new blog called The Megaphone, and this has articles updated every month or so to let the public know what Voices for Children is doing within the community. Now, this is the offices, the county and city office, again, the website for Voices for Children. I hope I have given you some insight into this problem of foster care children not having an adequate representative, and that you will consider donating your money to this cause. Thank you for your time.